spooky. You see, you gotta use 2 jacks to get it down, your low profile jack, because it's so low to the ground. I mean, honestly, I forgot how low these things sit on the ground because it's been sitting, 18 inches up in the air. But there it is, the first time on the ground. Got it running pretty well. I have to admit, I made a major error on the injectors. I had too large an injector in there, so I had to go back to the OEM, I think it's like 14-pound injector. Running pretty good, still a little rough, and I think it has to do with getting it out and letting it run a little bit, because I really can't rev it up too loud in the garage. Here it is on the ground. Check out this test drive.
Stay right here with Mommy. Stay here, Grayson.
So that was the very first time I ever go-karted a Factory 5 Cobra, and that was several years ago. So now it's time to try this one, Project Cobra. Same engine, same setup, but let's see how it runs out on the street. Well, that was the first drive, and you can tell it's running kind of rough. Obviously, having to feather the throttle like that, and I don't hardly have any brakes. I think I got an issue with the distribution block that I have from the donor. So the front brakes do work, but I got no rear brakes, and it runs real rough. So I need to figure out what's going on with the timing and get this thing running like it should be and idling properly. So doing a little research, I have made a grievous mistake. You can't really run a 78mm throttle body unless you have an increased induction like a supercharger or a turbocharger. So I need to drop this down to a 73mm. Went ahead and ordered it. We'll just put this one on eBay because it's too late to return it to American Muscle. Also, this fuel pressure sensor, I keep getting a code for it, so I bought a new one. We're going to replace it as well. I think those two things will help us out. And the brakes was really simple. We needed to bleed the master cylinder. Now the brakes work perfect.
Okay, to put a bow on this episode and explain why the engine was running so rough, not only did we replace the throttle body with a 73mm, but also we replaced several sensors on the engine, including the throttle position sensor and the idle air controller. We also replaced the cam position sensor and the crankshaft position sensor. After replacing all those things, I finally did a smoke test and figured out why the car wasn't running good. Kept giving me O2, 1, bank 2 running lean. Replaced those. You can see where I have the connectors. Everything's been replaced. It turns out it's kind of hard to see, but hopefully we'll see it back up in there. I'll point it out in the video here. A little small plug in the Victor Jr. intake manifold was letting all this air into the intake. Once that little 5-cent plug went in, Runs like a champ. Now, let's finish this thing.